Right, hello YouTube. We're back with another From the Depths mod review. Today, my tank has failed, apparently. But today, we'll be covering a little bit of a more land-focused mod today. Well, two mods, in fact. We're doing a double feature. They're both made by the same mod author. And we will be looking at the Simple Tank, I believe it is Simple Tank Tracks and Simple Tank Guns mods together. Because, again, they're very much something that's linked. These add exactly what they sound like. They add parts for tank wheels and tank guns. We'll be using, I believe it is the Rosalie as our sort of chassis for this one. What we're going to do is we're going to strip its wheels off, and we're going to equip it with some of the new wheels, and we're going to also use it to show off the new guns. To get rid of the old ones first. Alright. That's the tracks off. So, new wheels. There's several parts for this. I have not looked into this before, so this is going to be new to me as well. But I believe the idea is they're meant to be a bit stock-alike, in that they sort of go together in the same way. But they've got a bit more of a realistic model. I believe this is a little bit maybe pantherish or something, or tigerish. As usual, you've got the normal ones and mirrored. You've got the larger 3 meter variants. Which I might actually use, but we'll see. You've also got the small variant, which is actually very small compared to the in-game ones, I believe. Cut off these. There's also the mock wheels, which I believe are meant to look a bit like what do you call it? Road rollers? Is that the word for it? Roller wheels? I can't remember for the life of me what you call these, but the idlers, I think they're called. They're sort of unpowered wheels. So here it says mock. I believe these are not actually, these are not actually wheels. They're just designed to look like them. There's also the I had not anticipated for a word like this. Work. That's probably nowhere near it. And Work shifted, which seems to be the same wheel, but with the block shifted up. I'm not sure what these are. I'm not sure why they've got a name like that. But yes, that is another thing. We'll use... These are, I believe, designed for something like a Sherman, the mock wheels. Obviously, look like it. There's also the drive wheels, which are the sort of, call it sort of sprocket wheels, I suppose is the word for it. We'll use the regular wheels for now. I believe that's what the original was using. Yeah, I was going to say, the only slight problem is the overlap, but I believe we can place them all and then delete the ones causing overlap after we set them up to actually drive. I believe this needs 2 layers of wheels to have a decent amount of power. As with the base game wheels, pretty easy to set up. Tank wheel preset, spread to neighbours on all the main clusters of wheels. I believe that should go to these as well. Yeah, it should say to both sides. I don't know if it... no, it doesn't apply to both sides of the vehicle, though. It's a lot easier than it used to be to set up tanks, my word. I remember they used to be, oh, what was it? Guards control system or whatever it's called. You used to have to use the automated control systems anyway and effectively rig up a bit of custom logic. Add track. Now, I don't believe they have a custom model. I believe that's the same track. Oh, add all tracks. Oh, there we go. I believe it's just the wheels themselves. Oh boy. Suspension is not tuned, but why are you not driving? Is this an engine issue? Engine has no power. Okay, so... Oh, the engine has been replaced by wood. Or is that the CPU? CPU has been replaced by wood. Wow. I don't know what this tank was using originally, but apparently it's bought. We'll be back in one moment when I quickly reconfigure this thing to actually run again. Alright, and we're back. Not the most elegant repair job I've ever made, but as you can see, they work perfectly well as tracks. Suspension could be tuned a little better, but you get the idea. So, with the tracks very briefly got over, they are basically more visual options for tracks. I don't really need to explain too much beyond that. Let's take a look at the gun options. For that, we're going to remove the current turret. If I can find where it's attached at all. And we're going to replace it with a simpler turret, because these are effectively simple weapon turrets. They don't, what do you call it? My words always fail me when I'm doing these reviews. I'm always just like, yes, it's the brain draws a total blank. These don't take up internal space like the normal turrets, I don't believe. They are effectively stick-on turrets designed to replicate, I believe, real-world ones. They do use custom shells. So we'll start with the, I believe that's a Panzer III turret. The 7.5 centimeter, right, German name, Stummelgeschütz? I believe these have probably realistic levels of elevation. It seems to be reasonably fast firing. It's 75mm, not particularly large. The long barrel 7.5, similar sort of idea. I guess this would be off a, oh, it kind of looks like a Panzer IV. Is it Panzer IV N? M? No. J, I think. Either way, I believe this is another German one. As you can see, seems to be about the same fire rate, but longer barrel, so I'm guessing more reload, more velocity. I could probably tell you. And longer barrel length, so much more accurate. Oh, but less elevation, actually. Can't elevate as far. Interesting. The 88. This looks a bit like a Tiger tank to me. I believe Tiger 1. Looks a pretty extreme elevation, actually, downwards. I could be putting it on upside down, though, to be fair. That's quite the fire rate for a Tiger turret. Quite impressed by that. KWK-36. 76.2mm cannon. Doesn't even say what this one's off of. Perhaps because it looks very generic. Is this meant to be off a Russian tank destroyer? Maybe. It has a little bit of that look. Or maybe a Stug, perhaps. But it's very generic for that. 17-pounder. This will be a British one. Or perhaps, yeah, maybe a Firefly by the look of this, perhaps. My tank knowledge is reasonable, but not perfect. But I believe this is something like a Firefly. As you can see, they're pretty slap on and go. Very little attention needed to make these work to some degree. We should probably have some. Let's also quickly turn God mode on. We should probably have some actual tanks to shoot at with these, shouldn't we? I'm forgetting the obvious of include explosions. Not that the AI actually seems to be able to hit it. It's actually firing faster now, I think, you know. Hey, well, let's turn off movement. Start running away. Shooting the steam train. Oh my god, it's still such a beautiful craft. I always feel bad about shooting these. But anyway, that's the 6-pounder, I believe. Next on to the 2-pounder. A lighter version of the same gun by the look of it. With a notably different sound. Jesus, that fire rate, that is impressive. I don't think 2-pounders fire at that speed in real life. I guess the idea is to rebalance these somewhat from the depths is the level of firepower. I suppose it's already loading the shells, so I guess that makes sense. Next up, the MG34 ball mount. Is this a machine gun then? Ah, yes. This is a bit like the... Ooh, that... This is a bit like the simple weapons mods we were looking at. The barrel is rotating a little strangely there. I'm not quite sure that's right. Also very loud. A mounted MG32. Not sure what it's firing at, but it does work. What is this? Baser MG? Quite a mean machine gun, actually. That was shredding armor pretty well when it was actually hitting. The Browning. You're American, as far as I'm aware. Every household is obligated to have 3 of these. It's a 50 cal. We've seen a few of these in the mod reviews already. And as before, it has a ball mount. Don't think I need to say too much more there. KWK-38, 50mm cannon. I actually have no idea what this is off of. This is another one that looks vaguely... Maybe a Panzer II even, looking at that. This turret is definitely drunk. I have no idea what this thing's just looking at anymore. The 75mm M3. Another one we're not quite sure what it's off. That looks... Actually, that looks like a Sherman or something. Oh, that's interesting. I'm not sure that bit's supposed to recoil all the way into the gun, but... Yeah, that definitely do be a tank cannon. The KWK Tank Destroyer variant. It's interesting that it says about 8 armor-piercing shells. Oh, this one has preloaded shells. With what looks like quite significant armor-piercing, actually, APHE shells. Or at least noticeable armor-piercing at any rate. Quite a nice model at any rate. And the Soviet IS... Oh, look, they do actually tell you what some of these are from. Some of them just say custom, but this one actually tells you. 122 anti-tank used by the ISU 122. Very powerful rounds, larger costs with dismal... Oh, 2% traverse. There. Not traverse, elevation. So, very poor field of fire, but quite powerful, supposedly. It's did a lot more explosive damage. I'm not actually sure the damage is actually any better than the last one, considering the armor piercing. Oh yeah, that's got the sort of ball mount. Yeah, I recognise that. Yeah, so as I suspected, these are based off real world guns. So would I recommend for these 2 mods? Probably. They're nice and simple. If you're struggling with creating a tank, it's certainly a very easy way to do it. They're probably a little unbalanced because they don't have the downsides of having the quite explosive internals, and they're not very expensive by the look of it. So they are a little unbalanced, probably. So the guns, I'm not so sure on. The models are mixed. The textures look alright, but not stellar. The models are quite good. Actual, like, muzzle flash and everything is very nice. So I'm a little mixed on the guns. I'd say like a pretty alright. If you want something nice and simple, you can set up quickly. That's not a bad option at all. Tracks. The tracks I rather like. They're basically more models. Same sort of thing as the last one, really. The textures are a little scuffed looking. They're not stellar, but they're not awful either by any means. I have seen worse. Like that doesn't look great. That could be an error. Could be the mod's a bit out of date. The version we're on, because I am offending a new version. But they're perfectly functional. They worked first time. They are unpronounceable in the case of this one, which I find funny. So yeah, I'd say can't ever recommend. You could certainly try this mod out, and you certainly wouldn't lose anything. It is free after all. It's a mod, so I suppose I can't really consider it too bad under any circumstances, really. So yes, the what is it? Simple tracks and simple tank weapons mod. Here we go. Try them out. And if you're kind enough to still be here, I just want to mention quickly at the end of the video that I am a games dev as well as a mod reviewer and also to some extent mod author. And I've recently set up for release my second game, Sel Quinta, the Six City Quest. Bit of an RPG, but a few twists with the story of that. You might like it. So if you want to support the channel, go check that out. There'll be a link in the description. And also my my first release is also still available, called IORC. Kind of about being the fire service of space debris. If you like action, you might like that one. sort of 2D action game. That's also on the channel. I'll put a link to the trailer for that as well. And yeah, until next time.